Hi everyone, I'm Dad.
I'm Daughter.
And we are...
Dad and Daughter Formula One Duo!
Alright, so we are back from vacation and this weekend was a very, very interesting race. It was what?
Absurd.
Absurd. Oh, I like that. I like that. It was an absurd race. Absurd, yeah. So where was the race first?
Qatar!
In Qatar. So it got a little bit crazy because initially, who had qualified on pole?
Max Verstappen.
Okay. So did he start on pole?
No.
Why?
Because they gave him a penalty.
They did give him a penalty. Do you know why they gave him a penalty though?
Because he was going too slow during the qualifying.
He was going a little bit too slow during qualifying, and supposedly he blocked George Russell, and which was weird because George Russell was actually going slow also. So it was kind of weird. So anyway, so they give him a one-place grid penalty to begin the race. So that means he started on second, George started on first. So now let's talk about a little bit about the race. So the race starts. What happens right away?
Wait, what's his name again?
George.
Oh yeah, George loses it immediately.
Yeah, he loses, P1 immediately. And then even worse, he falls back to third and Lando gets in second, right? So it becomes a classic Lando Max battle. Now, during that, at the very first turn of lap one, it starts getting, get your notes out, it starts getting a little bit crazy with all these different crashes. So Nico crashes into Esteban Ocon, who then hits Franco Colapinto, which then ruins my entire fantasy F1 team because I had Franco in there. And it gets a little crazy, safety cars, everything. Okay, so then as the race continues on, what happens with Alex Albon?
Oh, he loses his mirror.
He loses his mirror. Like in the middle of the race, like all of a sudden his mirror just like pops right off. So it pops off and it just stays in the middle of the road, like in the middle of the track. So then does anybody do anything about it?
No.
And then what ends up happening?
Lando gets a 10-second
But
penalty.
before that, what happens with Lewis and with Carlos?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what Carlos' name is.
What happened with them?
So basically, they ran over the mirror and it slashed their tires.
So it slashed their tires, and all of a sudden, the race becomes super crazy. So now all of a sudden, yellow flags start coming out, safety cars start coming out, and now what ends up happening with Lando?
He gets a 10-second penalty.
Because of what? Check your notes.
Because he was speeding during the yellow flag.
Yeah, he was speeding during when the yellow flag came out in one of those sectors. So he ends up getting a 10-second penalty, but it's not just any 10-second penalty. Do you know what kind of 10-second penalty he got?
He got a stop and go.
A stop and go. Wow, you actually remember that really well. Good job. He got a 10-second stop and go penalty, which he has to serve where? Like he can't just serve it anywhere, right?
Oh, sorry. He has to serve it at the, what is it called again? The pit lane.
In the pit lane. So yeah. So is he going fast in the pit lane, or does he have to go slow?
He goes really slow.
So he has to go
30 seconds just to walk, just to be like halfway through.
Right. So he's got to go slow to get into the pit lane. Then he's got to get there, serve his 10-second stop and go penalty, and then he's got to go again. Now, the problem was, in my opinion, I don't know about yours. In my opinion, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Lando fan, and I'm a McLaren fan, but it's kind of unfair because when you really think about it, I mean, he got a 10-second stop and go penalty, serving the pit lane. It drops him from second all the way to 15th place because at that point there was only 15 drivers left. It seems kind of excessive. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he at least should have gotten at least like a 2-second penalty.
Okay, I like that.
The 2-second penalty maybe like deducted a few points, like one.
No deductions of points. I don't like that, but I do think that it was a little bit extreme. Like that penalty was way too much. Like way too much. In terms,
3 seconds.
yeah, in terms of danger that he was putting other people in, other drivers, the track, it was really excessive. But the problem is, maybe a problem or not, there is a new race director. And the race director was pretty strict. I mean, he gave a lot of penalties during the race. I mean, and a lot of excessive, not excessive ones, but some pretty harsh ones. A lot of 10-second penalties. This is the only 10-second stop and go penalty, but it was still pretty extreme, in my opinion. Okay, so anyway, so he drops down to 15th. Is he able to do anything?
Well, he does move up to 9th place. 10th place. Now you're getting me confused.
Why am I getting you confused?
Because you told me he moved up to 9th.
I told you 9th. I gave you bad info?
Yes.
Did you should have done your homework and you should have taken better notes. No, it was probably my fault, yeah. So he was in 10th, so he ends up only getting 1 point, but he gets the fastest lap though.
So he gets 2 points.
So he gets 2 full points for 1 for 10th, 1 for the fastest lap.
Oscar? That's my question.
Oscar ended up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 4th.
So, give me the mic.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, so he was the best one that race.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, second best one.
Well, I mean, best one out of them two, because he's in 4th.
Yes.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it was a little bit of a rough race for McLaren. Now, let's talk. Who won? Who? You can speak up.
Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen won. Yes, he did. So Max won. He got himself another win. Doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's already first place. It's not going to change anything. Checo was out of the race. He got how many points?
None. Because he was out of the race.
No, I was talking about Max.
Oh, Max? How many points did he get?
I don't know.
Well, he got first place. So
Exactly. So I don't know. I don't forgot what it is.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that Max got first place because he's already driver's champion.
He's driver's champion, and it's not going to change his place for constructors.
Doesn't change the constructors. So the constructors championship really is about who?
It's about.
Who's it coming down to?
It's coming down to Ferrari and McLaren.
In the very last race. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so the last thing I do want to talk about. We're sharing a mic today because our other mics aren't working. So the last thing I do want to talk about though is I want to talk about F2.
Yes, they had an amazing race, and one of their for the drivers championship for their thing.
Yeah, their drivers championship.
They are only half a point away. We know we're F1, but F2 had a really great. They were just amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
They were only half a point away from first and second.
Yep. So right now, the difference between first and second of the drivers' championship for F2 is only half a point, and it's between Gabriel Bortoleto, who's going to be driving for Audi next year in F1, and Isaac Hadjar, who wants Checo's spot for Red Bull. So that's going to be.
I don't want Isaac.
Okay.
Wait, is that his name?
Isaac, yeah. Isaac Hadjar.
Yes, sorry. I don't want him to. Of course, I don't want him to replace Checo.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be a great opportunity for Checo if he went for kayak.
Okay, to
Cadillac.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it kayak.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds like kayak.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it kayak. I think it would be a great opportunity for him to go to kayak.
Okay.
So Cadillac. So he takes a year off.
Okay.
Gets he's back. He's just back on track, and gets a better he just gets better. So then he goes to Cadillac. Isaac takes his spot in Red Bull, and Checo goes to Cadillac, and
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see, right? We'll see what ends up happening. It's a really interesting race. It's a really interesting series, right? The F2. So if you haven't gotten a chance to see that, make sure to stay tuned for this weekend's upcoming race in Abu Dhabi, because not only in F1 will the Constructors' Championship be settled,
but in F2 and F3 I don't think F3 is a thing.
It is a thing, but it already finished. But yeah, in F2, the Drivers' Championship is going to be settled. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. All right, anything else before we end for tonight?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and speed to those notifications, everybody.
Bye,
Everyone.